evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Wednesday, June 25, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, KHMH reports trade dispute to Labor Minister and cites patient safety. Union calls it bad faith. Government negotiating team will meet Junt tomorrow. And SpeedNet suing GOB for internet in schools contracts to Digi. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Explore the great outdoors with Benny's quality and savings.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
Whether the job is big or small, every super handy dad needs the right tools. And at Brothers Habet and Habet, we have what you need. Enjoy super savings all June, like 15% off all power tools and hand tools, 25% off track car batteries, Eureka Vats, and Pisaforte towels, 25% off Pentadecon and discontinued colors, 30% off Valspar, and 40% off Dutch Boy paints. Plus, We're giving away $200 to 6 lucky Super Handy Dads. Every $50 you spend gets you a chance to win. So this year, give Dad his best gift yet from Brothers Habet and Habet. Come in or reach out today. Happy Father's Day to all Super Handy Dads.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Vasindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. The KHMH authority has gone ahead and reported to the Labor Minister that a trade dispute exists with its workers' union over pension demands. For several days, the union itself has been indicating that it was ready to issue the 21-day notice of strike action. Nonetheless, in its latest communication to management Tuesday, it rejected the management's latest offer of an ex gratia payment and asked for a return to the negotiating table. The union cited a lower figure than agreed. Once notice of a dispute is given, the Minister, Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., as per the Settlement of Disputes in Essential Services Act, is required to determine if the means exist to settle the dispute. Otherwise, he is to refer the dispute to the Essential Services Arbitration Tribunal. The KHMHA reports in its letter that attempts to resolve the issue of pension have been futile, as the hospital maintains that the staff does not qualify for pension under the Pensions Act. The authority further states that having initiated industrial action without reporting to the minister that a dispute exists, the union is, quote, in violation of the law and have now put the safety of patients at risk, end quote. Union President Andrew Beard told Creme News XTV via phone today that the union views as an act of bad faith the decision of the KHMHA to notify the Labor Minister of a trade dispute. He explained why.
How would you state a dispute when we only had one engagement? You made a proposal and you did not allow us to respond adequately as we have also hear our counter. So the CEO and the chair of the board have been acting in bad faith, supported by the government.
Given that is the view of the union, how do you proceed from here?
We will be sitting with our legal minds over the next couple of days to charter where determine how we can deal with this matter. But certainly for us, we believe an opportunity must be given to us to come back for us to go back to the table and make a counter position as mandated by our members. I don't know what is the issue, what triggered the CEO to act outside of due process, which is that is their mantra all the time, to do things outside of due process and then come back and act narcissistic and as if the union is doing something wrong to them.
But if they consider they have nothing more to offer, don't you believe that that would be an impasse that would require the matter to go to the minister?
But I'm saying, how can it be an impasse if they make an offer and we did not get an opportunity to counter? Yes, we said that we reject the 4% ex gratia, but we did not make a counter. We asked for them to come back to the table so that they can, so we can make our presentation of our counter to that ex gratia. They didn't even, so we have to be given that opportunity.
As we shared, some 40 staff members in different units called in sick on Tuesday, but we confirmed that the staff complement was back to normal today. Beard refuted claims made in a couple blog posts on social media news pages that union members acted negligently by leaving the NICU staffed with only one nurse on Tuesday, allegedly endangering the lives of newborns who require specialized care. The same was said regarding the hemodialysis service.
We will be sitting with our attorney to look at the legal options. Is that because that was outrightly a falsification of what occurred with with the nurses at Kalushna. And I am surprised that Kalushna accept that media station to put out such a thing when they Kalushna well know that there were 8 nurses in the NICU yesterday and there was 13 babies. The ratio in the NICU is normally 2 patients to 1 nurse, with 13 patients and 8 nurses. That was well satisfactory the amount of staff that was needed for such. So that was falsification and pure political rhetoric from that media house, and we know who owns that media house. And like I say, we'll be looking at our legal option as to the discriminatory and characterization of our nurses and members of our union in that regard.
What about the hemodialysis section?
There wasn't, from what I was made to understand, there was a nurse or 2 at the hemodialysis, but just that the amount of patients in comparison to the nurses there was not enough for them to do dialysis for some of the patients. But once again, these people, if they were ill, who is it to distribute that these people cannot get ill or should not get ill? We are human beings just like every other person in this country. I understand the plight of the people when services are not available for them. But they must also understand that we are human beings, we get sick too. We can't come to work during sick days. When COVID and the staff of Kalushna came to work and do what they will do, everybody classifies us as heroes and things. But the minute we get sick now, of a sudden with zeros.
The hospital itself, though, in notifying the minister that a trade dispute exists, has accused the union of putting patients at risk now.
Once again, if any employee or any among the employee gets sick in an institution at any given time, it is the duty of the management to find relief persons to take and fill in the gaps or so. But you can't say, because people get sick, they're in cars and unsafe condition in the hospital. We have a right to get sick. It's an entitlement.
The government negotiating team is expected to meet tomorrow morning in Belize City with the joint unions negotiating team JUNT to continue discussions regarding their demands, which include an 8.5% salary increase for public sector workers. Today, the Prime Minister would not say much but revealed that a third offer will be made to them.
What I've said with unions that I will not comment. I want the the ministers and the deputy prime minister that will put in charge of that to be able to comment on that. They will meet with the unions tomorrow as opposed to just sending the letter. We'll meet to them, give them the letter, and we hope that they're going to accept. I think we've been bending over trying to accommodate as best as we can, but we're trying to do something for, not only for the unions but for the country, because at the end of the day, it's all of us taxpayers that will have to pay that, okay?
Earlier this month, High Court Justice Derek Sylvester granted an ex parte order for SpeedNet Communications Limited, SMART, to seek judicial review of a decision by the Ministry of Education to execute 2 contracts with Belize Telemedia Limited, Digi, on or about February 21, 2025. The contracts fall under the Connected program, which aims to provide fast speed and reliable wireless internet to schools. The project was first rolled out in July of 2022, but additional contracts have been signed since then, and SMART is challenging the fact that the contracts required open tender if they passed a $5 million threshold as per the Finance and Audit Reform Act. They say they were not invited to bid for the contract, even though they are one of BTL's biggest competitors when it comes to the provision of internet services. Among the declarations sought by SpeedNet is that the decision to award the contracts in February this year breach, quote, the rules of fairness and legitimate expectation of the applicant to be invited to tender a bid, end quote. It also asked that the contracts be quashed and that an injunction be granted to stop any and all works under the 2 contracts. SpeedNet's majority shareholding is held by the Ashcroft Alliance, while relatives of the Prime Minister John Bresenio hold minority shares. SpeedNet is being represented in the case by senior counsel Jacqueline Marshallek. In response to the criticism from the Public Service Union president that the government pays an exorbitant figure every year and office rentals averaging over $6 million every year today, Prime Minister John Bresenio said they are, in fact, working on construction more office space.
We are working on that. If you notice, we are building, we're starting the work on building a judiciary center right here on Lake Independence Boulevard. We're working along with Social Security and the government of Belize, and we're getting some investments from other bondholders to be able to build a huge campus, so put everything there. We're working on that. We want to get partner either with the private sector or ourselves. Look at this place right here with the 5 Cs. The government pays for that. We're paying $22,000 a rent a month. That can pay a mortgage, and that's exactly what we're working. So you're not coming with nothing new. We are working on that. We are adjusting it. But when you look, and I don't have the exact number right now, but when you see where we were in 2020 to where we are today, and you see how much more how much more renters we've been getting, it's not much from 2020.
After the break, PM opines taxpayers' defaulters list should not have been published. Stay with us.
Good game, bro. Good game. Come back tomorrow, make us school up again. See that 3 pointer that way at the calf, right? No one on it. Hold on. Boy, you alright?
Something wrong, yeah?
Something have to wrong because you're well distracted.
No, man, at the top of the street light. The one there around my areas, nice and pretty. Watch how this one look dull and orange.
Because this one, the HPS. So if you see any other old fixture, report it to BL, and BL will change it to the bright LED one. Then you see one where you talk about, just like that.
But how you do that?
The thing easy. Make I show you something. All you need for do, that go in your BL app and click the option where say street light fault, enter your location, put in the 7-digit number from the pole, press report, and left the rest to BL.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Have an old fixture? Report it today using our BEL 24/7 app, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Welcome to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you out right now. When I this daily? For 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Rasindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Power Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Asked today about the list of tax defaulters that was published earlier this week, Prime Minister John Briceño shared his personal view that the list should not have been published and said work should have continued with the taxpayers to reach an amicable solution.
It's unfortunate that that was made public. It should have, and I'm speaking for myself, it should have not been made public, and we should have continued working with these individuals to work with them. As you know, there have been tremendous growth in the economy over the past 4 years, and nobody can dispute the fact. And but it's unfortunate that some small businesses, many instances, because they don't know how to go about filing their taxes, are in problems. But we stepped in. We step in whenever they ask us for help. We cannot write off taxes. It's only the National Assembly. But how do we help? We would then try to negotiate with with BTS, the Belize Tax Service, to try to remove the interest or the penalties so it could make it more affordable. We do not want to get anybody out of business. We want more businesses. We want more entrepreneurs. That's why we've been doing a lot of work with Beltrade, working with a lot of small businesses for them to be able to thrive in this growing economy.
The University of Belize researchers disputing that economic growth that your administration heralds.
Well, then I think they need to go and talk to the IMF. It's not us that are doing that. So it's the IMF. It's not with us. So let them go and talk to them. And if they know more, if they know more than more than the IMF, that's fine. I've just got the professor that he, but that's I would not. I've just started reading it. But what it has pointed out, well, an important thing to find, that under the UDP, this country regressed. We're finally catching up to where we were in 2007 when there was a PUP government. And in 4 years, we've done that. We've turned things around. And now we're building on that. We're working in the services, with BPOs, with tourism, agriculture, the exports that we're having in agriculture, we have never seen before. We have Guatemalans coming in and they buy milk, they buy eggs, they buy chicken, they buy coconuts, they buy everything that we have, and we need to take advantage of that.
The Ministry of Sustainable Development, through the Department of the Environment, DOE, has launched a national environmental task force to address challenges with compliance monitoring, enforcement capacity, and interagency coordination. The DOE's Chief Environmental Officer, Anthony Mai, spoke more on the task force and on the stakeholders that are collaborating.
For us, this is a huge achievement because it basically brings together all the key government regulatory bodies around one table. And so with this task force in place, we'll be able to better plan, coordinate, and respond to environmental issues in terms of joint compliance monitoring, joint enforcement, increased prosecution for environmental offenses, etc. So it is something that we wanted to do for many years ago, but we are at the point now where we have had the first meeting, and the first meeting went well. We have a good idea of some of the activities that we need to implement immediately in the short term, and then some that we could have planned for medium term and long term. Right. So at the meeting, we had representatives from the Belize Port Authority. We had representatives from the Central Building Authority, the Hydrology Unit within the Ministry of Natural Resources. We had representatives from the Mining Unit, the Lands Department, because the Lands Department issues approval for subdivision and also permits for constructions of structures within the 66 feet reserve, such as pier, docks, etc. They issue permit for the use of seabed, etc. We had representatives from the Forest Department, the Public Health Department, the Fisheries Department, the National Biodiversity Office, and very importantly, the Office of the Director of the Public Prosecution.
Each of the stakeholders lacked sufficient human resources, but Mai explained how this will be addressed with the formation of the task force.
The purpose of the task force is to improve the effectiveness of the relevant government agencies to respond to environmental issues, right? So the lack of human resources is an issue that all government regulatory body faces. But if we have a committee that looks at resources, right, and look at how we could share resources, that will improve the effectiveness of individual agencies within the government. So what we discussed at the meeting is that a task force of this nature is very necessary, and it is necessary now because, again, Belize continues to develop. There are certain sections of the country that has rapid development, such as San Pedro. And so the government department needs to be more vigilant, right? Each agency has legislation that they need to enforce. Each agency has permits that are issued, clearances and approval. And then we have a responsibility to ensure that investors are complying or abiding by the conditions of the approval, clearances, and permits. So we've been doing this individually. So each department, each ministry would issue permit and then ensure compliance monitoring is done. The Department of Environment, however, has always done compliance monitoring inspection jointly, but we believe that having this task force together, we have a more formal structure of how joint operations and collaboration will occur.
Mai also spoke on the benefits of the formation of the task force.
Together we discussed and we agreed that a task force of this nature is very timely and very necessary. We all agree that there is a lot of benefits that could come from having this task force in place. Some of the key benefits that we identified was improved communication and intelligence. So we will plan to meet frequently. We'll meet monthly for now. And every month, every agency will bring to the table a list of projects that they have granted approvals, clearances, permits, and licenses too. And then so that will improve communication and information sharing. We also believe that through this mechanism, we'll be able to plan more frequent joint compliance monitoring of some of the major projects in Belize, and we identified what some of the major projects are. We discussed the fact that we could share resources in terms of human resources, financial resources, and even some of the equipment that we have, because we identified that certain agencies in the group had some very good equipment that they are using that, like, for example, the Department of Environment could benefit if we use. So we identified that it would be good for us to also share some of the equipment that we have. We also believe that we could improve by the task force could improve the capacity building for all agencies. So we have identified we will identify specific training that the enforcement team in each agency needs in order for us to reach to a certain level. We discussed the need for having joint public awareness and education on environmental matters. And also, hopefully, all of this will ensure that we have more cases being filed at court and that we have a greater conviction rate for the offenses.
In related news, initially, the recently established National Environmental Enforcement Task Force will not be responsible to monitor every instance of possible environmental offenses across the country. Anthony Mai, the Department of the Environment's Chief Environmental Officer, explained that the task force will focus on more closely monitoring the large-scale developments across the country. Mai described which developments are considered major.
Well, so the task force, at least initially, is not to look at every single complaint and offense, right? Because the task force is more to look at some of the big issues in Belize to ensure that we have frequent compliance monitoring of some of the major developments. Each respective department already have an enforcement team, and the enforcement team within these departments will continue to do the day-to-day operation in terms of the enforcement and compliance monitoring that they do.
Will the list of what you consider major developments be made public?
Well, we haven't discussed that as yet, but again, I could share some of the major projects that we have identified during the meeting. So, for example, we identified, and this is in no kind of listing or priority. It's just kind of some of the big developments that we know are taking place in Belize. So we have, for example, the Stake Bank project is one of the projects that we believe we need to conduct frequent joint compliance monitoring. When I say frequent, I mean monthly or bi-monthly. So every month or every 2 months, or in certain instances every quarter. But it has to be dedicated and consistent right? So Stake Bank, we've looked at Key Chapel, the development that is going on there. We discussed the need to monitor Cayo Rosario, the big projects such as, so we discussed BSI, Santander, some of these larger projects, right? The project that has the capacity to create significant impacts if we are not consistently monitoring them. We discussed Harvest Key down south, and certain projects that are in the pipeline as well that we need frequent monitoring. Normally, we classify large projects in Belize and through the Department of Environment as those projects that has underwent the environmental impact assessment process. And so it's mostly to look at those large projects.
With the new Environmental Enforcement Task Force will come more frequent sweeps where authorities are stationed at one area for days to monitor for illegal activity.
We've discussed the need for us to do more frequent sweeps, right, as we call it. And sweep is just where jointly we will go to, for example, the Southwater Key Marine Reserve, and we will spend a week in that area just looking at the developments that are there in terms of compliance monitoring, but also moving around to see if there's any development that is occurring that might not have environmental clearance or a permit may not have been granted, and then doing the enforcement in relation to that. So stopping that project, coming in, bringing the developers in, charging those investors, and then regularizing those projects. So we discussed the need to do that more frequently. In fact, we discussed the fact that we might need to do that starting at Placencia along the coastline. As you know, there are several structures along the coastline in Placencia that we have investigated that doesn't have permits from the Lands Department and even from the Department of Environment. And so that is one of the first areas that we want to tackle. And then we discuss a sweep within the Southwater Key Marine Reserve to identify any illegal activities from, and again, illegal activities in relation to all the different agencies that will be going along with the sweep.
The Department of the Environment is tasked with monitoring developments that could harm Belize's natural resources. However, the department is unable to constantly monitor all parts of the country. As such, citizens are encouraged to report possible environmental offenses. Maya explained how this can be done.
The Department of Environment, we have a mechanism through which people could report any possible or alleged offense. We have an email that people uses. The email is complaints with an S at environment.gov.bz. So we advise people to send complaints to that particular email. And so we have a list of all the complaints that comes in. Our enforcement team then goes out and ensure that investigation is done in relation to these complaints. What we have done also, and we'll begin to share soon on the media, is we've developed an app, an application that people could use to report areas of illegal dump sites, right? And so, for example, if you're in any area, Belize, in any village and in a town, and you see an illegal dump site, you'll be able to use the app to mark that particular location, take some pictures of it, and then that information will be shared with the Department of Environment, and then we could conduct investigation into those particular issues. Also, at the meeting, we discussed the fact that the National Biodiversity Office apparently has a very good database, a good application where people could use on their phone and identify any possible alleged environmental offense. And they could use the tool, the app, to mark that issue and to report the issue through the tool. And then all the different agencies within the task force group will have access to it.
Mai also explained that different agencies are responsible for different types of developments. He admitted that more needs to be done to share this information with the public. He said that the newly formed National Environmental Enforcement Task Force will eventually aid with streamlining the reporting process.
We also discussed the need for us to classify the offenses of each government department so that we all know what each department is responsible for. For example, the Department of Environment is criticized at times for not responding to issues that really and truly there are other government agencies that are responsible for. And I'll give you a classical example. So everyone calls the Department of Environment if they see mangrove being cleared. But clearance of mangrove requires a permit from the Forest Department. And so the Forest Department in this instance is the permitting agency. Similarly, the mining unit in the Ministry of Natural Resources is the permitting agency for any dredging, any quarrying, quarrying and mining, etc. The lands department is the permitting agency for the construction of anything within the 66 feet reserve, right? And so in terms of getting approval for construction of any infrastructure, an investor will need to have permits from the Central Building Authority. So that is one of the things that we want to address also, to build awareness with the general public, to let them know that, again, there are permitting agencies in Belize, and if you see an offense, we need to educate them as to which agency should the offenses be reported to first. And then in the task force, we will all address this through having one lead agency, and then the other agencies being supportive or support those activities. The Department of Environment, when the Environmental Protection Act was enacted, was established to be this overarching coordinating body for all matters related to the environment. And we believe that this initiative coming through the Department of Environment reflects that responsibility that we have. And so we'll be providing, in certain instances, we will be the lead agency dealing with compliance, monitoring, enforcement, and prosecution. And in some instances, we will be support, right? We'll support certain agencies to get things done the right way.
After the break, groundbreaking ceremony held for 5C's headquarters on UB's Belmopan campus. Stay tuned.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Earn V-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Benny's. Quality and savings.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wadney is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Power Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Electricity is evolving, and BEL is leading the way with smarter connections across Belize. Meet AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure. It's not just a meter, it's a smarter way to manage power. Smart meters record your energy use in real time and securely send the data to BEL. Key customer benefits include real-time insights into energy usage, improved home energy planning, integration of solar, battery, and EV technologies, and innovative customer service solutions. Get ready! AMI is coming soon to municipalities across Belize, including the Keys, to give you more control and reliability. BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
A groundbreaking ceremony was held at the University of Belize Central Campus in Belmopan this morning for the permanent headquarters of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, also known as the 5 Cs. Several stakeholders were on hand for the ceremony, including Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Pierre. Prime Minister of Belize, Honorable John Bresenio, spoke of Belize being the perfect location for the organization's headquarters.
For me, it's a sense of accomplishment. As I've said before, the Climate Change Center, when the 5 Cs, when it was agreed to come to Belize, I was the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, and we worked several years along with Prime Minister Musa back then to get the support from the Caribbean to put the 5 Cs in Belize. And now we can look back and realize that, yes, it was the right decision. Belize has everything. It's a living laboratory where you can go from the sea all the way up the way into the mountains, into the forest, the wildlife, the fisheries, the marine life. So we have everything here. And so now 20 years, coming to 20 years later now as a Prime Minister, it gives you a sense of accomplishment to see that something that you started off have come to this. And this morning what we did is to break ground to be able to build a new headquarters or a headquarters for the 5 Cs and where best at UB, so you can combine academia with the scientists and the research and everything. So it's a right fit, and I'm very proud of what we've been doing here today with Belize as a country and the 5 Cs.
Dr. Colin Young, the Executive Director of the 5 Cs, spoke about the partnership with the University of Belize, which he said will assist UB to implement climate change programs as well as access to scholarships and training for both faculty and students.
Well, as you know, the 5 Cs is celebrating its 20 years anniversary this year. And this morning we had a significant groundbreaking ceremony where, in partnership with the University of Belize and the government of Belize, we intend to construct 5 Cs new headquarters on the campus of the university. This is going to be a mutually strategic partnership where the 5 Cs will assist UB to develop a center of excellence, have climate change program, provide scholarships and training for faculty and students, and the 5 Cs would also assist with resource mobilization to help the university.
Talk about when we begin construction and when we projected to finish.
Well, based on the MOU that we have, we're supposed to commence construction within the next 18 months.
Talk about your vision
combining the 5Cs and UB, I know you mentioned scholarship and whatnot, but the level of research that it will be able to produce, the students who might be more interested in going into this field.
So for 20 years, the 5Cs has been in Belize, and it is unfortunate that it has taken this long for this type of strategic partnership to happen with the National University. All over the world, you're seeing partnerships between technical institutes and universities, because this balance between academia, the private sector, and the science is critical to national development. And so by having such a partnership, then UB can continue to even expand the role it plays in doing applied research that then can be utilized by policymakers to make decisions about how we pursue sustainable development.
As part of its 20th anniversary celebrations, the 5Cs has been hosting events from Tuesday night. These will culminate with a banquet this evening. Earlier today, there was a panel discussion titled 2 Decades of Climate Impact, which explored the center's legacy, its evolution, as well as climate resilience in the Caribbean and emerging opportunities. 5C's Executive Director Dr. Colin Young summarized some of the main projects in their portfolio currently. In other news, the Belize Family Life Association, BFLA, is celebrating 40 years of service this year. While best known for its national health insurance and NHI services, BFLA also provides cancer screenings, comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services, and youth-focused programs. The executive director of BFLA, Joan Burke-Skeen, expanded on the range of services offered.
BFLA is one of the contract holders of the National Health Insurance Program. So under that program, we basically carry out the mandate of the National Health Insurance. However, we have 4 additional clinics where we provide comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services, making sure that persons who want or who have the desire to plan their families, we provide the environment as well as the resources to help them to do that. Also, we are very keen on the cancer prevention, so we provide cancer screening services primarily for prostate cancer, cervical cancer, as well as breast cancer. BFLA has been in existence for 40 years, and so that is what we've been doing through our network of clinics. We also respect the rights of individuals to choose, and we respect that young people have a place in the society. So we do what we call non-clinical youth services, and we have a network of young persons who we do leadership building, we public speaking, and basically to build the capacity in them that they become positive leaders within the society and be able to contribute to the development of our country.
Miss Universe Belize 2024 Halima Hoy, along with the 2025 Miss Universe Belize delegates, were present for BFLA's 40th anniversary. Hoy's advocacy was health and fitness, and she spoke of the importance of social health. She and the other beauties expressed their gratitude to BFLA for their decades of service.
So we are here today celebrating the 40th anniversary of BFLA, and I'm super grateful for being able to come here. We got a very inspiring message from Miss Joan Berkskine, and it really showed us that they have a lot of social issues that are not being addressed, and some of the topics are those hard-hitting topics that people are afraid to address, and BFLA picks up where that leaves off. And I am an advocate for health and wellness, and oftentimes social health is forgotten. So I'm very grateful for this organization for addressing those social issues for women and families, and as an advocate for health and wellness, I look forward to working with them in the future.
Thank you to this organization for all of the work that they're doing and looking out for our community.
BFLA is such an amazing NGO, and what I learned today is that it was built and founded by 5 strong women who wanted to make a huge change in our nation as well as the world. And I just want to say a huge thank you to them. It's been such an emotional time here, just hearing the different stories that our community is going through, and they have been an aid to help not only women but as well as men.
So I just want to thank the BFLA for having all of my sisters here. What they had mentioned today was truly inspiring. These are stuff that is not really mentioned or not really recognized. So to be here is truly an honor.
Happy 40th anniversary to the BFLA family. I'm super happy that we are able to come here today and listen to what BFLA actually does for our community. And when it comes to empowering women, we are here in this pageant, and this journey has taught me to really embrace who I am and help others. So I am very happy to be here and to continue to inspire other young girls.
Happy birthday, BFLA. I am Isabella Zabane, and listening to Ms. Jones' story as an advocate for confidence and courage and authenticity and identity, it was really special to hear her message of courage and empowering young women. I am so grateful for you guys and the help you give Belize and just give of yourself. And I personally really relate to that message. And so I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you so much.
Happy 40th anniversary, BFLA!
And in police news, police have levied a charge of abduction of a child against 56-year-old Sandra Zol. She is the aunt of 13-year-old Guatemalan student Lizzie Suntecun, who was abducted from her school out west last week, Monday. The minor's father launched an investigation of his own and tracked her whereabouts to August Pine Ridge in the Orange Walk district. She had been taken from school at lunchtime in a white pickup. The school management became worried when she did not show up for her afternoon classes, as she was not known to leave school at lunchtime. Zol was charged on Tuesday. And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another news broadcast. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Thank you.